Hello! We're live with the very first Forgotten Songs live stream. Let's go! It's been a long way on the way. I am Thomas B. Dair, and today we are diving headfirst into my third short story, Fly, that I've told no one about. Well, I told a bunch of people that Fly is on the way. I'm in the middle of translating, which might seem like a fairly strange way of beginning things. My original plan was to actually have the live stream start with the fourth short story, when I get around to do that, but things are taking a long time with Fly, and so I had a chat with some mates of mine, and we figured it was probably better to just simply start doing it. So here we are. We're in the middle of translating. I have the version 1.1.1 revision here. Not the final revision, of course. And then I got my Fly over here. I am currently writing. I hope it doesn't kill the feed. I'm currently writing on my dedicated writing laptop, my Chromebook, cheap one, because just need to be able to write. And yeah, here we are. Why don't we just simply get started where I am? In Fly, we are following the broodcarer Vurusu, who is a dragon. She's not only a dragon, she's a dragon of the Topaz kin, the Topaz dragon kin, and she is a broodcarer. So she takes care of hatching, or attempting to hatch dragon eggs. Something weird has happened. She has gotten a bunch of dragon eggs that are not of her Topaz kind. They are in fact Onyx, the Onyx dragonkin, which is a dragonkin that don't really know a whole lot about, because they've sort of been on the down low. I don't know what it's called. Basically, Vurusu thought they were pretty much extinct, but it turns out that they aren't. And as she is starting up the incubation process of these eggs, what's it called? She realizes that there is not room for all of them with her current batch of Topaz eggs, so she has to choose which one to. She has to choose one to take out and to get the Onyx egg in. And as she's doing that, it turns out that there is an intruder inside of her quarters, her cave thingy. Okay, that was a very dramatic change of music. Guess it's fine. Guess it works. We just have the all the songs tagged fantasy from the YouTube audio library on, so it's great. But yeah, it turns out the intruder is also of Onyx kin. He has some weird half-transparent scales though, so Vurusu wasn't quite sure whether or not the intruder was of Onyx kin. He's called Sunearden. He has just revealed his name for her, and they are currently in a discussion of basically what's going on, or maybe more of why he's intruding at Wingrest, the floating island, the fortress of the Topaz dragonkin. And yeah, we're jumping right into when they are having a discussion about dragon fights, previous dragon fights, and Sunearden, the intruder, has a different take on what has been going on in the history. So yeah, that's where we are. Quick and dirty roundup of the story. And let's jump to it. I have marked here the paragraph that I'm currently at. Actually, this song, maybe it's a very dramatic song. I like that. For what's going on. So of course I am translating from English to Danish. I am Danish myself, if you couldn't hear by my accent. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do for the next 2 hours. Why do I do that? Well, I write in English first and foremost because, well, I like it. I like writing in English. It's a much richer language than Danish is. And then I translated to Danish. It was originally so that my friends and family could follow along. Those of them who are not so proficient in English and prefer to read in Danish. But I've come to learn that since I have to think a little bit differently about the sentence structure in Danish, it actually helps my writing in English as well sometimes. Yeah, let's go. So this is a paragraph. And I believe this is Vurusu speaking. We did not start any war since we fought the Emeralds for Skyreach during the twin fights of 2029 AS. And how would I say that in Danish? Yeah, she continued. I was about to say I didn't actually say in this paragraph who was talking, but it is she continued. It is denoted. Vi startede ikke nogen krige. So, this is pretty much we started. We didn't start. We started ikke any wars. Any wars since we fought the Emeralds. Right. I was about to say it was supposed to be we didn't start any fights, I think, because we're talking that they're called dragon fights, not dragon wars, but in the Danish translation, the literal translation for fight is kamp, which I feel like it might as well have been a brawl, and not a war. And the sort of one of the reasons why I picked dragon fight as the word for the dragon wars, the civil wars of the dragon. It was actually sort of a play on the word dragon flight, which is what the dragonkins of World of Warcraft are called. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, I got messages, and I'm not gonna look at those right now. Vi startede ikke nogen krig, siden vi kæmpede, since we fought. It's very straightforward. The Emeralds, that's another dragonkin, the Emerald dragonkin. What do we call that in Danish? I forgot. I have completely let it slip my mind. What the hell is an emerald in Danish? Emerald. Is it just emerald? Smaragd. There it was. Okay. Since vi kæmpede imod Smaragd-slægten. So here I could say smaragderne, which would be the emeralds, a plural of emeralds. But I feel like it's a bit fluffy. It works in English, fighting the emeralds, like. But I think I have to attach this word slægten, which is Danish for the kin. Yeah. I think that works. Of course, I'm not a professional writer. Let me just stress that. I'm doing this because I like it. I love writing. I found out that I love writing, and I think I'm okay with that. at it, but there's going to be plenty of mistakes. I don't have an editor. It's going to be plenty of spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, weird sentences, but hopefully during revisions and so on and so forth, we will catch those. Cheers. I got my... this is not me being tiny, this is a very big mug. It's also filled with water and not Coca-Cola Zero, but, you know, just to get that out of the way. Where were we? Siden vi kæmpede imod Smaragd-slægten. During simply which is actually the Danish word for in. Tvillinge, the twin fights would be tvillingekrigene. I'm sure you've noticed by now that I'm using a hyphen here because actually in Danish we have a what's it called? Sugar, I don't remember what that's called. Not the verbs, the nouns. We put nouns together in Danish. So technically this would be correct. The twin fights, the twin wars, which in English would be two words, but in Danish we put them together. But I like the hyphen in this instance. I think both should be correct. Anyway, kæmpede mod Smaragd-slægten i tvillingekrigene i året 2029, and then I put EB because AS is supposed to be after settling, which in Danish would be efter bosættelsen. So AS is after they settled on these dragon roosts. That is basically, it's most of these civil wars, the dragon wars, are for the land masses of the dragon roosts, of which there are 5, and there are 6 dragonkins. Yeah. I forgot which dragon roost. What did I call this one? Himmelstræk, I believe. Sky Reach. Kæmpede imod Smaragd-slægten how do I say this? Tvillingekrigene. Just say 4. 4 is basically just 4. Tvillingekrigene. I feel like that's the wrong word. For they're contesting the island, the floating island of Sky Reach. I feel like 4 is the wrong. This is probably going to be a lot of. It's probably going to be a lot of when I write. It's me thinking about stuff, thinking about words, misremembering words, looking stuff up, and not actually going very far. Hopefully, it's going to be entertaining and interesting anyway. Now, I know this is a strange one. Like I said, it's a strange one to start out with, and I am sorry for that. The whole translating from English to Danish, which is probably only beneficial for Danish speakers or people wanting to learn Danish. So if anyone watched this at either of those two categories, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. But like I mentioned, this was just something that I had to start doing because It was my plan all along, and I kept putting it off. Yeah, sorry for another disclaimer out of the way. I'm going to do this for like 2 hours today, see how it goes. It's been a while since I've live streamed. It's been a couple of years, I think. So being in front of the camera is strange, but feels good. Anyway, we fought against, vi kæmpede imod Smaug-slægten. We fought against the Emerald Kin, the Emerald Dragonkin. During the Twin Wars, i tvillingekrigene. I need to find a thesaurus. Yeah, it's fine. Whoa, hello. Okay, plenty of advertisement there. So I'm just trying to find something that could mean. This is just all the Danish words related to the word which is actually about. Maybe it should be for. Omkring. Maybe it should be for. Oops, that was not. No, not forherlige. Just for, please. Over. Could be over. It's here. Over. It definitely could be over. That would be over. It's basically the same word as in English. Over. Fart på. Indtrækstof. Bindeord. This is a weird thesaurus because it just lists every word somehow related to the word you're searching for. But yeah. Yeah, let's go with it. We can always revise it. Over Himmelstræk. Himmelstræk is the island Skyreach, one of the floating islands. The floating island with the largest mountain on it. I feel like that's a very cool name. I'm very proud of that one. I feel like that's the name that screams fantasy, you know. I'm actually quite proud of the Danish translation of it. Himmelstræk. Okay, so I can see my microphone is going into the red. Maybe I'll just slightly turn it down. I think that's probably better. I hope that's better. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad during the first 20 minutes of this stream, where we have almost translated a whole sentence. Well done, me. Himmelstræk in the year 2029. EB. So she continued is fortsatte hun. Hun being she, continued is fortsatte. And as you notice, we have a slightly different word placement. I don't know what that's called in grammar. I don't know what that's called in grammar in English. Ordstilling. We can find out. Is it necessary? Probably not. But I'm doing it anyway. Word order. Alright. I thought it would have a better, cooler name in English. She continued. In fact, before we gained wing rest, the longest time of peace after the savant died was the 39 years between the twin fights and the Ruby Stand. And we dragons have now lived in agreement for almost 200 years since. So yeah, she's arguing why She's now arguing why. So there's a heretical order, like the one dragonkin who occupies the largest dragon roost, the largest floating island, which is Wingrest, or in Danish Vingevil. Also have the best opportunity to dominate the others, basically. So there's the more land you have, the more resources you have, the bigger your kin can become, the more dominant you can become. And she's arguing that right now, after what Virusu is calling the Great Fight, where all the dragonkins were engaged in a fight, in a dragon fight, with the Topaz as the victors, they got straight from the smallest dragon roost of High Roost to the biggest of Wingrest. There's been so much years of peace because they have been diplomatic and good about dominating the others. And there's been 200 years of peace, basically. So why would anyone challenge that? Is what she's saying. Or what she is arguing. That's her argument, that they've done a good job at keeping the peace amongst the dragons. In fact, it's a weird one. We don't say the direct translation would be I fakta, but that does not make any sense, coherent sense in Danish whatsoever. So yeah, what do we say? We say faktisk, actually. It's just simply one word. Faktisk har... Nej. Okay, this is probably one of the things where it needs to be a longer Danish sentence. Faktisk. Oh, I just had it. I thought I just had it. Damn it. What was it? So maybe we should actually. So this is the paragraph I'm retranslating. Just so, yeah. I think that's it. Go a little down as well. Just so you guys know where we are in the text. Right. In fact, before we gain ring rest, faktisk var det sådan. Basically, that would be like, in fact, it was like this. Før vi gained. So Virusu's, the way she talks about it is very neutral. It's very, they gain something, they receive it. And Sunarden has been very much, different. Like, he's been very aggressive in his wording of what's going on. Yeah. Oh, this is a very happy song. Yeah. It's just random songs that goes on. But yeah. This event died. Hej Sværdesøtten. Før vi. I want to say overtog, but that's more like conquered. Gained. Opnåede. Skaffede. Før vi fik. Gained your footing, gained. You could use vinde, which would be 1. But that's also like, I don't know, that feels a bit weird. That feels a bit strange to say vinde, to say they won it. But they did win it. They conquered it. Faktisk var det sådan, før vi... Faktisk var det sådan, in fact, it was before we, in fact... But I don't want to use conquered. I don't want to use overtog because that's... I want Vorusu's speak to be much more neutral. Maybe just fik, which would be it's like someone gave it to him. Yeah, før vi fik vingehvil, which is wing rest. Basically direct translate. Faktisk var det sådan at probably should have at there. Før vi fik vingehvil. I think the sentence needs to be way different, actually, like way different from what the English one is. Before we can win rest the longest time. No, maybe it's alright. Var den længste was the longest. Længste. Før vi fik vingehvile. Var den længste tid med fred. Var den længste fredstid. Længste fredstid, which is time of peace. Peacetime. Længste fredstid. Efter... Hvad var det? What did I call the savant in Danish? Den alvidende. So, savant is actually... The translation for that would be lært. That, you know, you've learned a lot. You're savant. But I feel like in English it's also more... You're a natural, you're a prodigy. And then in the Danish translation, what are they called? So, Dragon Society, in my universe, there are two types of dragons. There are the drakes, and there are Wyrms. Wyrms are your traditional big dragons. You know, big wings, spew fire. And then you got drakes, which are much more humanoid. And they can't fly, but they can glide using wings that they have from, like, they're attached to their body. Like a what's it called, a flight suit? Not a flight suit. Jumpsuit. Like a jumpsuit. But yeah, Wyrms are like basically the beasts of war, used for protection. Vorusu, who is a drake, so is Sunaden. Vorusu's sister, that she loves very, very much, one of her sisters that she loves very, very, very much, is a Wyrm. She was earlier on in the story. Where was I going with this? Completely lost my train of thought there. well done. Oh yeah. So Wyrms are just beasts of war. They're weapons, basically. They're nukes. And drakes are the intelligent ones. Drakes are... they're usually... one of the... They can be many things. Like, basically, the entire society is made out of drakes, which are fairly easy to hatch and then you have the worms, which are much more difficult to hatch, and they're the weapons of war, the beasts of war. And yeah, one of the occupations for drakes is this teacher, mentor-like occupation. Very intelligent, forwarding society, almost university professor-like, and that's called a learner in my English version, and I call that a lærd in Danish. But the savant translates to lærd. So the savant in Danish is going to be the all-knowing, den alvidende. Yeah, that's just a bit of it. It was a bit of a tangent. I can't believe we still got. I need to translate more faster. This is what the whole thing is about. It's about translating. Faktisk var det sådan, før vi fik vingehvile. I don't know where to have this. I think this at here has to be somewhere, but I don't know if it's supposed to be before or after the sentence. Indskud. The shut-in sentence. What on earth is that called in English? Indskud. The interposed sentence. Okay. Right. Faktisk var det sådan, før vi fik vingehvile, at den længste fredstid efter den alvidende døde. Passed away. I want to say døde is a good translation probably, but I feel like there should be something, they died. Døde, han døde is he died, directly translated, but I feel like it should be something a little more like passed away, Maybe just died. Maybe died is just fine. After all alvidende døde. Yeah, it's probably fine. Var de 39 år, was the 39 years mellem tvillingekrigene, between fights, krigene, that's krigene, og Rubinens forsvar, which is the dragon fight where the Ruby Dragonkin defended wing rest. One of the big fights in the Dragonkin history, the dragon fight history. Okay. This is quite a large sentence. I feel like we should stop the sentence here and then go like that. And we. Og vi drager døde. Nej. And we dragons have now lived. Okay, so here she says in agreement, which is again her wording is very neutral, very diplomatic. They all agreed that this was the best way to live. That was with the the topaz at the wing rest at the highest in the hierarchy of dragons. But maybe it wasn't in agreement. Okay. We dragons have now lived in agreement for almost 200 years since. I'm not lived in agreement. How the hell do you put it? How on earth? Agreement. What would be the word? Aftale. Yeah. In agreement. By mutual agreement. Gensidig. Reason agreement. Okay, it's probably enighed. Yeah. Har levet i enighed. So that's much more. Yeah, that's much more agreement like. What's it called? It's much more business-like agreement. Enighed. I næsten. Now lived. I feel like this since maybe shouldn't be here. And we dragons have now lived in agreement for almost 200 years since. Maybe it's alright. I næsten 200 år. That makes it sound like it's since either when the savant died or when the ruby stand happened. That's not the 200 years. It's the 200 years since the great fight. Yeah. Since the great fight. Siden. I næsten 200 år siden. In almost 200 years since. That's pretty much straightforward. Oh. Okay, I think this ad needs to be. Det var det sådan, at før vi fik vingehvil, var den længste fredstid. Ja. Og vi drager har nu levet i enighed i næsten 200 år siden den store krig. Which I don't remember. I'm not quite satisfied with that. Den store krig, it sounds very. Not happy about that translation. Oh, I'm not super happy about the translation. No, I feel like I don't know. It's just so bland. Yeah, bland. But I feel like it might be den store krig. This is the first time they denoted it. What the hell? What the hell? What on earth is this music, by the way? Focus object. Nope. I'm just gonna remove that. From the playlist. Save playlist. Save. Sorry about that. So when do they start arguing about the dragon fights? When is that happening? When is that happening? Okay, here it is. It's here. What? What did I write in... Oops. Not bookmark. Don't move. What did I write here? Oh. There were two. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's alright. I did note something here. A comment. Wow, it was like right up there. Yeah, we can figure that out later. Maybe. Since the great fight. Bam. Okay, we did it. We translated the first paragraph live on stream. Boo! Go me. Very happy. Very, very happy about that. Okay. And Sunarden says, kindly stop your golden scaled history lesson. Sunarden interrupted again. Sunarden, General Drake's, I want to convey this highly intelligent, in the way they talk. They don't contract any words, which may, especially we don't contract words in Danish like that either, but so like in the English, if they say can't, they don't say can't, they say cannot in 2 words. Will not instead of would not. So I'm sure that's a little bit stilted to read, but I wanted to convey this, higher intelligence kind of way of talking. And I hope that's the way to do it without stepping on people. So yeah, he's also saying, he's using words like kindly and asking Sunarden is using words like kindly and asking Vorusu to do things in a kind manner, but he's sinister. Like his tone is sinister, It's clearly not. He's clearly not asking from out of the good of his heart. Let me just check something. Okay. Sorry about that. So, the way we would say kind to stop to something, we would say, would you be so kind to stop something? Vil du venligst? Would you kindly? Vil du venligst stoppe med din guldskældede? Will you please stop with your golden scaled historielektion? Historietime. History hour. History lesson. History lesson. Oh yes. Listen to the wonderful happy sounds of a fantasy. It's called Fantasyland apparently. Not the vibe I'm going for right now, but yeah, it is what it is. Sunarden. So, vil du venligst stoppe med din guldskældede historielektion? So he's saying this to indicate, indicate how basically that she's been lied to. It's propaganda that she's been getting. That's why by her own kin. That's why he's saying golden scaled. That's topaz, the color of the topaz dragons. Sunarden afbrød endnu en gang, once again. So he interrupted once again. This time he moved closer to Vorusu, more agitated than calm now. Who's sending me messages now? Stupid. What the hell? Don't know where that ER came from. Kindly stop your golden scale history lesson. This time he moved closer to Vorusu, more agitated than calm now. Denne gang bevægede han sig. This time he moved closer. Yeah. Bevægede is actually the word for move. Moved. Bevægede. He is han. So, once again, different word order. Just a funny thing. bevægede han sig tættere, closer to, tættere på Wurusu. Denne gang bevægede han sig, han rykkede sig. Bevægede sig. Probably han rykkede. Denne gang rykkede han sig. Yeah, I'm probably going to use rykkede for moves. More agitated than calm now. Denne gang rykkede han sig tættere på Rusu. What I'm thinking now is if this should be 2 sentences. Be 2 sentences in that word. If you've seen me struggle about the word sentences. Not again. I can't do this again. I have. I made an entire video of me messing up the word sentences. Apparently, this is my nemesis. That word. But I'm trying to think if it makes more sense to have them in this sentence split it into 2. So it would be, this time he moved closer to Urusu, full stop. He was more agitated than calm now. Even though in English I think it works fine. This time he moved closer to Urusu, more agitated than calm now. It's just in Danish, it's a bit weird. Denne gang rykkede han tættere på Urusu. Mere ophidset end rolig nu. Mere ophidset end rolig nu. I think I like it better if we full stop use he. He was more. Han var mere. And then agitated. Oprevet, ophidset. Let's go over to the thesaurus for ophidset. In my mind, ophidset is more excited, maybe even in a special manner. If you catch my drift. Furiøs, Vidret, feberagtig, hetset, hektisk, heftig, hissig. Maybe just hissy. Like, it's part of the word ophidset, hissy. Maybe just angry, vred. Yeah, maybe that's alright. Han var mere. He was more agitated than calm now. Han var mere. Hissy. Maybe it's just ophidset. Maybe it is just ophidset. Han var mere ophidset. He was more ophidset end rolig nu. I agree that the taking and relinquishing of dragon roosts is to be expected, but there was no agreement from all the dragonkin. From all of the dragonkin. Ja. Jeg medgiver dig. I agree with you, basically. Jeg medgiver dig, at det... Oh, that's gonna sound weird. At det at tage... Jeg medgiver dig... Okay. I'm just gonna write it, and then I'm probably going to edit it. Jeg medgiver dig. It feels like that. It feels like that sound was loud. That music is loud. Jeg medgiver dig. I agree with you at det at tage tage og give afkald på dragereder. I agree with you that so this is strange Danish sentence, right? I agree with you that the thing about taking and giving, relinquishing, saying no, give it away, the dragon roosts. Is to be expected. Jeg ved ikke, at det er at tage og give. Det er at tage og give afkald på dragereder. It's expected, it's forventeligt. Er forventeligt. Men, but we always, Danish grammar lesson, we always put a comma before men, which is the Danish word for but, not the ass. It's probably one of the only grammar lessons that I know of. I'm not very good at grammar. I'm horrible at grammar. Okay. Well, that's not what this is about. Give afkald på drager er forventeligt, men der was aldrig en aftale. What did I use for aftale before? For agreement? Enighed. There was never en enighed. Der var aldrig en enighed. Fra alle drageslægterne. Okay, so Google here is correcting my Danish. Thank you, Google. It might be right. Der var aldrig en enighed. There was never. So the Danish one is there was never an agreement. And just removes the an. There was never agreement. Der var aldrig enighed fra alle drageslægterne. Yeah, it's probably right. Jeg medgiver dig. Jeg medgiver. Jeg medgiver. I think there needs to be a comma here. At det at tage og give afkald på dragereder er forventeligt. I would also like a different word for take. The Danish word is tage. Det at tage. Take berøve. So this is rob. That's a loaded word. It could be conquer. Indfange, kapre. Maybe. No, maybe it's fine. I don't know. I just feel like it sounds a little bit weird. You know what? I'm gonna do a comment here that says revisit sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Most importantly, at and at right after each other. After each other. There we go. Okay. So, next paragraph. And Vurusu is a little scared here now because, well, he was more agitated than calm, Sunearden. And she doesn't like where this conversation is going. So she's trying to change the subject. Sunearden earlier asked her if she had ever experienced a dragon fight, which of course they haven't. None of them have. And so Vurusu is trying to draw attention to the fact that he has not experienced a dragon fight either. Right. You do not look like someone who has experienced a dragon fight either, Vurusu said in an attempt to change the subject. And she's stammering a little bit. Du ligner heller ikke en. So Lina is look like. Yeah, this is one that can't be directly translated from English to Danish. Du ligner heller ikke en. You do not look like someone either, basically. Heller is either. Look like heller ikke en. Someone is simply en in Danish. Even though we also use en as one and a sometimes. A cannon, en kanon, a dragon, en drage. Du ligner heller ikke en, som who has experienced, ham har oplevet en dragekrig. Said Vurusu. I et forsøg på at ændre samtalen. I don't know. Ændre samtalen. I'm not sure like that. Or maybe I do. På change the subject, ændre samtalen. I don't know. I had a feeling that it just wasn't the correct way to do it. Søg på ændre samtalen. In an attempt to change subject. So my thinking is right now that I should say something in Danish like change to lead the conversation somewhere else. But maybe that's also too long of a sentence. I think it might be. I forsøg på at ændre. Maybe it's just the topic of conversation. Samtaleemnet. It's another the squished together nouns. For ændre samtaleemnet. Yeah. Samtaleemnet. She still wasn't quite sure why, but the terrible feeling of where the conversation was headed lingered. Hun var stadigvæk. She still wasn't. Hun var stadigvæk ikke sikker på hvorfor. Stadig ikke sikker på hvorfor, men she still wasn't sure why. Wasn't quite sure why. Så stadigvæk ikke helt sikker. So quite would be the addition of helt sikker. Stadigvæk ikke helt sikker. Oh. It's in the wrong place. It should be here. Stadigvæk ikke helt sikker på hvorfor. Men terrible feeling. How will we translate that to Danish? Hey, we've done an hour! The first hour of the first stream! Hooray! Let's go! Probably going to do another hour, and then that's it for this one, but yeah, we started. We're doing it. We're doing it, guys! Anyway, a terrible feeling. So terrible. Terrible. What would that be in Danish? Terrible. Frygtelig. Forfærdelig. Then probably the last one. Grusom. He told a terrible story. I'm telling gruesome stories. So that's really evil. That's an evil thing to say. Something gruesome. Men den maybe not Let's write it and see where it goes. See if I think it makes sense. Gruesome hour. Hello, Rosbil. Go. Gruesome hour. The terrible grusomme følelse. The terrible feeling. Oops. Følelse. Oh yeah, the first gruesome hour. Men en grusomme følelse af hvor samtalen var på vej hen, where the conversation was headed. It lingered. What do we say? What would we say for lingered? It stayed. Den blev der. Linger. Blev hængende. Ja. So I probably would say it hung around. It hung around in the air or something like that. Instead of lingered, because we don't really have a word for linger in Danish. Var hen. Hang tungt. So it hung around like heavily in the air. Tungt i luften. Okay, so hun var stadigvæk ikke helt sikker på hvorfor, men den grusomme følelse af, hvor samtalen var på vej hen, hang tungt i luften. I'm not so sure grusomme. Maybe it's good, maybe it's alright. We can catch it in another revision. Yeah, let's go. Oops. Just make sure we don't do something bad here. And then Sunearden replies, "No, I have not. About that you are quite right, my golden broodcarer. I was born in the roofless evergreen forest below, and I've never known the safety of being chained to the sky." So yeah, the dragon roosts are floating islands. The 5 dragon roosts are floating islands, chained to the earth, chained to the ground by giant chains. And in the middle of it, there's this mysterious rock that, in English, I've called the settler. No one knows what it is, just that it's weird and cold. And the dragons in my universe, in Forgotten Songs, are not religious. Probably the only species that are not religious, but they still have a tendency of elevating life-giving. The fact that the queen mothers of each of the dragonkin can produce eggs as the only one. They elevate that to almost religious levels, as well as this rock called the Settler in the valley below the floating islands that are the dragon roosts. And yeah, as I said, there are 5 dragon roosts, there are 6 dragon kins, so that means that one dragonkin needs to live in the forest, the dangerous forests below. And that's also one of the reasons why there's so many dragon fights, dragon wars, because, well, they want to go back. Right. Nej, det har jeg ikke. No, I have not. I think actually this is 2 sentences in that freaking word, sentences, in English, but I want to make it 1 sentence in Danish. Nej, det har jeg ikke. Det har du helt ret i. You're quite right about that. Det har du helt ret i. Min gyldne yngelplejer. So yeah, no, I have not. That you're entirely right in saying is basically what this sentence means. And then my golden broodcarer, min gyldne yngelplejer. This is the first time, I believe, that Sunearden, the intruder, the black-scaled onyx intruder, has called Wurusu my golden broodcarer. She does not like that. I was born, jeg blev født i de in the roostless. How would we say roostless in Danish? We would say, so roost is rede or nest. Rede is actually nest. Where a roost, I guess a roost is a stick that you sit on, but you know, we use it as nest in this story. Because if I say redefri, that's roost free. It sounds like they would be I don't know. That sounds like the forest below are free of the roost in a good way, you know, like and not in a bad way. If something is less, it's something you need, it's something you're missing. If something is free of something, it's a good thing, right? So I don't want to say redefri, født i. It would be missing, manglende. Maybe. Okay, maybe if I say jeg blev født i de, I was born in the, i de, and then the evergreen, de evigt grønne evergreen, de evigt grønne skove uden reder. That would be I was born in the evergreen forest without roosts. Yeah, I think that was a good one. I'm proud of that. It's a good way of working around it. Uden reder nedenfor, so they are below where they are now. Of course, the forests are below the floating islands. Og jeg har, and I have never known kendt til sikkerheden, known the safety af at være chained in the sky være forbundet. But that's more... That's not chained. Chained would be... what would chain be? Kæde. Chain would be kæde. That's a chain. En kæde. Jeg har aldrig kendt sikkerheden til at være sammenkædet. That's more like... Sammenkædet, that's more like... You're together. Chained together in a good way. Again, it's more in a good way instead of in a bad way. We want... What does the dictionary say? Kædet. Connected. Linked. Chain. Cable. Warped. Kæde. Connected. Maybe it's connected. Connected to the sky. Forbundet. Connected would be forbundet. I was born in the ruthless evergreen forest below, and have never known the safety of being chained in the sky. Affair. Because what it's saying is the safety of, not the fact that they're literally, it's not safe that they're chained in the sky, but the islands are floating in the sky, and they're chained to the ground. Right, that's what he's saying. How do we say that? Maybe it should be a little bit different in Danish. Maybe it should be... never know. Jeg har aldrig kendt sikkerhed. Never know the safety of... I've never known the safety of floating in the sky. Chained. Bundet til. Rospil, du sagde bundet til? Yeah, that might actually be the exact word we're looking for. At være bundet til himlen. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Sunearden calmly responded while seemingly studying his claw blades. Svarede Sunearden roligt. So yeah, he went from being agitated and angry to calm. He's very much, boom, changing up his state of mind. Svarede Sunearden roligt. Maybe it should be now calmly in English, because to sort of lampshade the fact that he just changed his mood suddenly. This is what I mean about it actually works out for me translating stuff to Danish after writing it in English, because it makes me think a lot more about the sentences in English as well, or how I write things. See, I wanna change it up. Responded in a now calm manner while seemingly studying his claw blades. Svarede Sunearden. And let's have this being a What was det indskudt sætning? Imposed sentence? Interposed sentence. Hvis temperament, that's definitely not, there we go. Hvis temperament nu var roligt. So I'm saying it, Sunarden answered, and then an interposed sentence saying that his temper was now calm. Og studerede. He studied. Imens han angiveligt, while he seemingly studied, studerede sine claw blades. So Sunarden has drakes. These dragon drakes in my universe have long claws that they usually use for fighting. But for some reason, this intruder, Sunarden, does not. He has these long, he has like, like Vega from Street Fighter. He has this long claws, hooked claws on one of his hands, actually the left one. For some reason, that Burusu doesn't know why. He's not using his own large claws on his hands. But anyway, he has this this bladed claw. His claw blades, sine klingeklør. That's a weird word. Weird made up word. Klingeklør. I think klinge is actually, it's a different way of saying sword or blade, but maybe sværklør. Klør is the plural of klo, which is claw. Sword is svær. Okay, let's see. How does that sound? Nej, det har jeg ikke. Det har du helt ret i, min gyldne yngleplejer. Jeg blev født i de evigt grønne skove, uden reder nedenfor, og jeg har aldrig kendt til sikkerheden af at være bundet til himlen. Thanks for that, by the way. Rospil, thank you so much for that. That was nailed it. Svarede Sunarden, hvis temperament nu var roligt, imens han angiveligt studerede sine sværklør. Yeah, that works, I think. So this is where we are now. What I have experienced, however, is fighting off the greedy elves who see our eggs and the scales of my body as theirs for the taking. The intruder clenched his bladed fist and looked directly at Burusu with his one open eye. So yeah, there's a whole history here with dragons and elves. Elves used to basically enthrall dragons, and the dragons, led by the savant, got out of there, got away from them. But that has not stopped the elves from trying to reclaim both dragon eggs and their dragon thralls, their dragon servants again. But that's a big safety of being on the floating islands, is that the elves that are roaming around, they can't reach them, basically. They can't fly. Yeah. Hvad jeg derimod har oplevet, what I, on the other hand, derimod would be sort of way of saying on the other hand, or however, What I, on the other hand, have experienced hvad jeg derimod har oplevet, er at kæmpe fighting off, kæmpe imod, kæmpe imod grådige, fighting off greedy elves, grådige elverfolk. Yeah, I don't know. Fighting off is sort of like what I'm thinking right now is that fighting off is like you're pushing them back, you're fighting them off. Whereas kæmpe imod is sort of like, it's more like you're on two sides of a battle against each other. Imod would be against. But maybe that's fine. Kæmpe imod grådige elverfolk. Fighting off greedy elves. Yeah, I think it's alright. Der ser vores æg. That sees our eggs. Og skældene på vores kroppe. På min krop. Ja. And the scales on my body. Min krop. Som noget, der tilhører dem. As something that belongs to them. So this is not as, this is, in English I'm saying as theirs for the taking. Something they can just take. But here, this is something that belongs to them. Der tilhører dem. I think that's actually a better way of phrasing it. As something that belongs to them. Now, what I'm not super happy about is that we repeat the words Dair, and in both cases, it's used as a word some. There is interchangeable with some. So these three words are basically the same. But I think they're needed. Hvad jeg derimod har oplevet, er at kæmpe imod grådige elverfolk, der ser vores æg og skældene på min krop som noget, der tilhører dem. I could just say, som tilhørende dem. Skældene på min krop som tilhørende dem. Yeah, it's probably. And not like as something that belongs to them. Yeah, maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's not too bad. Skældene på min krop som tilhørende dem. As something that belongs to them. Som noget, der tilhører dem. I think it's fine. I think this is good. Oh, and he is exclaiming that! Exclamation mark. Indtrængeren. I feel like this is a strange. The intruder. I feel like indtrængeren, the way of saying that, is a strange way. It's a strange word. I don't know. It sounds made up. Indtrængeren. But I don't think it is. I think it's supposed to be indtrængeren. Indtrængeren clenched his fist. Han clenched. Knudede sin hånd. Indtrængeren knyttede sin his bladed fist, sin klinge. Let's use klinge this time. Klingebelagte So this is not, they're not just bladed here, they are bladed. Belagt is adorned, I think. Just to be sure. Coated, covered, yeah. So this is maybe belagt is not the word we're looking for. Since it's not, his fist is not coated. It's not covered in blades. There are like 3 blades that sticks out from it. But they are attached to his fist, to his palm. Let's see if the thesaurus have something belagt. Let's see if thesaurus have something when I use the right word, when I spell correctly. Bedækket, besat is probably better actually. Besat. Funnily enough, besat could also mean you've conquered something. But you also say if you have jewels on something, if you have diamonds in your jewelry, it can be diamant besat, diamond covered, diamond, yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna use besat. Klinge besatte. Besatte. Knyttet sin klinge besatte. And you know, we can always change it if we found a better way of saying it. Klinge besatte. Where the hell? There it is. Yes, there we are. Knyttede sin klingebesatte næve. So usually this would be a knyt næve. Because it's a clenched fist. Knytte is clench, and this is a fist. So knytnæve. But it's also, I guess you could also just say næve for it. But I don't actually know if that's a word or not. Næve. It is just a fist. Okay, cool. Cool. Og så and looked direkte på Vorusu med sit ene åbne øje. He looked and looked directly at Vorusu with his one open eye. Yeah. And there shouldn't be a comma there. Thank you, Google. Okay, so we are in this paragraph now. Vorusu was caught in the gaze for a moment, before putting on her best brood-carrying manners. Hun var fanget. She was caught. She was almost frozen, I guess. She was almost frozen. Was caught in the gaze for a moment before putting on her best brood-carrying manners. Okay, let's start writing. Vorusu. Oh, yes, we could say that she felt caught, like she couldn't escape, right? What would escape be? Escape. Flygte. Undslippe. Følte sig, Vorusu følte sig fanget. af hans stieren. What is this song? This is not very pleasant. Falling on grace. That was a very, very unpleasant sound. Boruso følte sig fanget af hans stieren. I think that's gaze. Stieren, right? It's like, yeah, blik would also be right. I think stieren is more intense. It's more of intense gaze. In the gaze. Følte sig fanget af en stieren et øjeblik. Et øjeblik før hun putting on her best brood carrier. So Boruso is a dragon who has sort of two personalities. She is a brood carrier. That's her occupation. And a brood carrier is, like I mentioned before, the fact of giving life is seen as almost a religious thing. They have brood carriers who are responsible for hatching the eggs, and you know, after the eggs come from the queen mothers, and then the brood. So they're very high in the society of dragons, because there are not a lot of dragons. It's difficult to hatch the eggs. Very, very difficult to hatch the eggs. And brood carriers are pretty much, they're the only ones who knows how to do it, basically. And they're not very successful in it. So Boruso knows this, of course, because she's pretty good at being a brood carrier, even though her understanding of the elements, her abilities with the elements of fire and wind, and they're not great. But yeah, she has basically two personalities. She has Boruso herself, who wants to explore, who wants to catalog, who wants to go out on adventures, but she doesn't dare to do it. She actually wants to leave the Dragon Islands, the Dragon Roosts, to see the world and bring back knowledge at some point. But she doesn't have the guts to do it, and now she's gotten... she felt very lucky to be selected to be a brood carrier. So she feels like she has to do that. And so her other personality is the brood carrier, who are much more... So Boruso is insecure. The brood carrier personality is much more... she knows what she's doing. She doesn't take crap from anyone. She's a bit sassy when she's taking on that persona. So that's sort of what's happening here. She's going back and forth between the two personalities, herself and the brood carrier personality. At least that's what I hope is happening in. I hope that's clear in the story. Anyway, Boruso følte sig fanget af hans stieren et øjeblik, før hun... Yes, caught by the gaze before putting on her best bouquet manners. Før hun ifførte would be more like she takes it on physically, like clothes. Ifførte sig, right? Før hun ifførte sig. Let's try write it out. See if we can change it to make it more coherent, make it make sense. Før hun ifførte sig sine bedste yngelplejer manerer. go. And stierne... Nej. No, Google, that was not the correct... That was not a good good... Whatever it's called. What the hell is rettelse? A good correction. Thank you. Før hun iførte sig sine... To the thesaurus. Ifører... Anlægge, iklæde. We could say tog på. Før hun tog sine bedste yngelplejermanerer på. That would be a way of saying it. I think iførte... I think this is just probably... This is good. I think it's good. Vurusu følte sig fanget af hans stierne et øjeblik, før hun iførte sig sine bedste yngelplejermanerer. Before putting on her best fruit carrying manners. Before she put on her best. Maybe it's alright. I think this is comment time. Revisit, please. Revisit, please. Come on. I feel like iførte may not be... What the hell? May not be the best phrasing. Sounds too much like Vurusu. Vurusu is physically taking on her brood carer manners. And of course, brood carer manners are these stern, but, you know, kind manners, where they're authoritative, you know. She's going to speak kindly to him, but there will be no question that she is the authority here. That's the idea anyway. I wonder how many comments I have. 33 comments so far. Okay, it's not too bad. I think we're like halfway through, right? Oh, 13 out of 21. A little over halfway. And yes, this is a long and tedious process, translating stuff. But I think it's good. I think it helps. It helps my journey into writing. And of course, this is the first time doing it live, so I'm also trying to talk and say everything I think, which is gonna take longer than if I just sit here by myself, just staring at the screen with my own thoughts. But anyway, she is putting on her best brood carer manner and says, "Of course, the fate of the onyx was unfortunate." Here it is, where I mentioned before in the beginning, I think, that Vurusu thought the onyx were basically extinct. And now she's saying that it's unfortunate because the onyx dragonkin was a big dragon king. They had almost always been at the top of the dragon roosts. And now they are almost extinct. Or she thought, at least. And now she's trying to... You know, she's saying that it was unfortunate that after the great fight where Topaz got Wingrest, the biggest dragon roost, the biggest floating island, that was previously occupied at that point by the onyx. And the onyx fell all the way down to the ruthless forest below. They lost everything, basically. And she's trying to say that it was unfortunate now. But, I think she's basically trying to say collateral damage. Get good, live with it, deal with it. Okay, so how will you translate this? Of course, the fate of the onyx was unfortunate. Probably say fate. What the hell is fate? Fate. Destiny. It's not the word I'm looking for. God damn it. Skæbnen. Thank you. Onyx-slægtens skæbne. So, yeah, we will start with saying the Onyx Kind's fate was of course, var selvfølgelig uheldig, unfortunate. And now Sunearden is not calm anymore and interrupting her once again. There's nothing unfortunate. There was nothing unfortunate about our fate, Sunearden practically yelled. So, Sunearden has gone from... this was before the live stream today, but he was very kind and calm, but sinister in the beginning. And then as they've been arguing, he's been like roller coastering between calm and agitated and angry and calm. And so like, yeah, he's very, very either or, very... I don't want to say bipolar, but I apparently did so anyway. Okay. Onyx-slægtens skæbne var selvfølgelig uheldig. Of course, the fate of the Onyx was unfortunate. Der var intet. There was nothing uheldigt, unfortunate, angående vores skæbne. Maybe angående about. Maybe that should be a better omkring næsten. I nærheden. Der var intet uheldigt omkring. I think maybe omkring is the right word here. About. Vores skæbne nærmest råbte. Practically yelled. Nærmest råbte Sunearden. Og svingede hendes klinger. Svingede swipe. Svirpede. Han svirpede. Han nærmest råbte Sunearden og svirpede and swiped. I think we want to exemplify here that the blades are hooked, because that is actually important. Oops, it's nothing unfortunate. That's where we are. Og svirpede sine krogede klinger. Svirpede sine krogede klinger. Ned af sin side. Sin krogede klinger. Swiped his hooked blades down. So yeah, in English we say down the side. We would say down the side of his body, but I don't think we want to use body, which is krop in Danish. I don't think we want to use that here actually. Swipede sin krogede klinger ned i sin side. Svirpede sin krogede klinger ned i sin side. But on the other hand, we are using basically the same word twice. Sin og sine. Which are both his. Well, we're using those as well in English, I can see that, so it's probably alright. I'm very conscious about using the same word twice right after each other. I do not like that when authors do that in books, but sometimes I guess you just have to. Svirpede sine krogede klinger ned ad siden. Maybe just ned ad siden, down the side. Because it's implied that it's his side. Isn't it? Maybe? Maybe. Down the side. Svirpede sine krogede klinger ned ad siden. Vi could say ned ad siden på sin krop. This music, how is that tagged with fantasy in the YouTube audio library? It's not bad, but it's just weird. Why is it fantasy? It's called Moon Landing. Well, we'll keep it on. We could just say on his body, på hans krop. På sin krop, svirpede sine krogede klinger ned ad siden på sin krop. Yeah, it's probably alright. Probably good to say it, to specify it. Slicing the air to the sound of a faint whisper. Can I just say I think that's I'm really happy with that sentence. That's how, you know, you get that sound, that movie sound. You have a blade, and you just sing. Sort of that, but faint. Yeah. Let's go. But how do we want to slice in the air? Svirpede sine krogede klinger. Maybe svirpede is a wrong word. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Ned ad sin krogede, ned ad sin krop. Krogede klinger ned ad kroppen. Ned ad siden på sin krop. Så man kunne. I think this sentence, slicing the air to the sound of a faint whisper, needs to be way different in Danish, because I don't think it directly doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think, maybe. Slicing the air to the sound of the faint whisper, så man kunne. Så man kunne høre en svag hvisken. So this is, you could hear a faint whisper. Så man kunne høre en svag hvisken. Svirpede længere ned ad sin krop, så man kunne høre en svag hvisken. Ja, okay. Slicing the air. That's the part we're missing right now. Slicing the air. Slicing the air. Skar igennem. I det han skar igennem. I det han skar igennem luften. Og ja. Skar gennem luften. Or maybe this should just be two sentences. Dot. Man kunne høre en svag hvisken, i det han skar gennem luften. Der var intet Der var intet uheldigt omkring vores skæbne. Nærmest råbte Sunnearten og svirvede sin krogede klinger ned ad siden på sin krop. Man kunne høre en svag hvisken. I det han skar gennem luften. I'm actually not sure if this is in one or two words. I det og i det. I samme øjeblik. Yeah, it should be one word. I det han skar gennem luften. Yeah, I think that's the way of doing it. Please. I am not sure that I follow. I think this is where I talked about this being a little bit stilted. Because normally you would contract I am to I'm. I'm not sure that I follow. I am not sure that I follow. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is how dragons speak. Please, I'm not sure that I follow, the brute Kara asked in an attempt to calm the situation. Oh, okay, the comma should be on the other side. That's right. I'm trying to think of the word instead of please. But maybe there isn't one. Maybe it doesn't need to be there. Maybe it doesn't need to be in the English version. Maybe it should just be I'm not sure that I follow. ... I'm not sure that I follow. And then she didn't ask. Bring me the thesaurus, the English one. Ask. Not ask. Answer. She replied. Commented. The brute carer replied. Replied in an attempt to calm the situation. Jeg er ikke sikker på. I am not sure on. Jeg er ikke sikker på, at jeg kan følge dig. I mean, it could be a question. Yeah, maybe the question is better. So in Danish here we say, my Chromebook just sort of stopped working. That's very cool. Hello. Oh, we're back. We're working again. Right. Okay. Yeah, we're working. It's a cheap one. It's a very cheap one. So it's basically just a glorified web browser, to be honest. Yeah, rip. I know. It's back. So we still have 5 minutes left until I think we're done with this session. Where the hell was I? There's nothing. I'm not sure that I follow. There we are. Spurgte yngelplejeren. The brute carer asked. I et forsøg in an attempt på at berolige situationen. In an attempt to calm the situation. Calm is berolige. Yeah. There we go. Then let me spell it out for you, my golden brood carer. Vorusu did not like the Onyx Dragon's newfound nickname for her. How many times have you visited the other dragon roosts? He continued. How on earth do we say, let me spell it out for you in Danish. Lad mig skære det ud i pap. But I don't think they have... Pap is cardboard. Let me cut it out. We say let me cut it out in cardboard for you. That's how to let me spell it out. But I don't think we have cardboard in this world. At least not yet. So that's not gonna work. Spell it out. Spell it out. Yeah. Udpensle. So that would be like paint it out for you. Yeah. Så lad mig udpensle. Yeah, that feels wrong. That doesn't sound right. Lad mig udpensle det for dig. My golden yngelplejer, brood carer. You could also say like, let me be more thorough. Lad mig sige det mere grundigt. No, doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. Lad mig pensle det ud for dig. Altså, I mean, they do have paint in this world. Let me paint it out for you. Or brush it out. Pencil is a brush, a painting brush. Yeah, it's all right. We're going to get back to it one way or the other. Vorusu did not like. Vorusu kunne ikke lide. Kunne ikke lide det nye kælenavn, som Onyx dragen havde fundet på til hende. So yeah, that would be Vorusu kunne ikke lide, did not like the new nickname. The new nickname that the Onyx Dragon had come up with for her. It's a bit of a longer sentence in Danish. That's the thing about translating stuff to Danish. It's so weird. Because look where we are. You can't really see. You can see it. When can you see it? You can see it here. We're on page number 13 out of 21, and we've just started in the Danish translation on page 15. So that's weird. And it's just Danish is a much poorer language, so I have to make larger sentences. What the hell is going on? Is it that? That's the falling from grace again. Okay, it needs to be removed from the playlist. Remove. There we go. And save playlist. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so we sort of have to construct longer sentences in Danish. So that's so super weird. Anyway, we're almost at the end of this session. We have actually gone over 2 hours now. Let's go. The first 2 hours of live book writing for the Forgotten Songs universe. I'm gonna finish this one, and then I think that's gonna be it. How many times have you visited the other dragon roosts? He continued. Hvor mange gange? How many times? Har du besøgt de andre dragereder? Fortsatte han. I kind of wanna keep going just a bit because this is a good dialogue exchange. I feel like. So you know what, we're gonna do that. Fortsatte han. Varuso, of course, is confused. I do not see how that is related to what we are. Jeg kan ikke se. I do not see hvordan det her. Det skulle være. How this should be. I do not see how this should be. Relateret. Related. Yeah. I guess that beslægtet relateret. I guess it is relateret. Hvordan det skulle være relateret til hvad vi relateret til hvad vi snakker. So yeah, this is like I do not see how this should be related to what we're talking, but in English I'm cutting her off. I feel like the talking in English here is much more implied what we're talking about, but I think it's needed here in the Danish translation. I do not see how this, hvordan det skulle være relateret til. Jeg kan ikke se hvordan det skulle relatere sig. Hvordan det har noget at gøre med. It's probably a better way of phrasing it in Danish. Hvordan det skulle have noget at gøre med, komma. How that should have something to do with what we're talking about. Right. Og vil du venligst fortælle mig hvor mange gange du so yeah, I should probably read it in English first. And would you kindly tell me how many times you or any other topaz dragon have visited us that lived below the roosts? Vil du venligst tell me how many times, fortælle mig hvor mange gange, tell me how many times du eller you or nogen anden or any other, some other or any other topaz dragon har besøgt os, has visited us, har besøgt os, der boede under rederne. So he's accusing her of never having to visit the onyx drakes that lived beneath the dragon roost, the floating isles of the dragon roosts. Should probably say nedenunder. down below. Actually, I want to say a bit down below here as well. Down below. The roosts. That is different. We all thought this time the roost stopped herself. So this is where we are. Det er anderledes. Det er noget andet. Det er noget andet. That is different. Vi troede jo alle, at all of us, so yeah, it's a different word order here as well. Vi troede, we thought, all of us, we all thought. And then I put in a jo for emphasizing that it was a given. Everybody thought this. Vi troede jo alle, at denne gang stoppede. This time stopped. This time Vurusu stopped herself. Vurusu. Denne gang stoppede Vurusu sig selv. Herself. Sig selv. You all thought we were gone, Sunearden asked, with his wicked smile, as if prey had been caught in its trap. I, because it's plural, this is plural you. I troede alle, at vi var væk. Vi var døde. That we were dead. We were gone. We were extinct. Maybe gone is just... Maybe gone, maybe væk is the right way. It's an okay way of saying it. We all thought we were gone. Vi troede alle, at vi var væk. Spurgte Sunearden. Asked Sunearden. Spurgte Sunearden. Sunearden. With his wicked smile. Med sit onde, evil, wicked smile. Som om... As if, som havde han. Som hvis. As if, som hvis. Prey. Bytte. I think I need to be specific. Et byttedyr. A prey animal. A byttedyr. Var blevet, was caught. Had been. Ja. Yeah. Var fanget i hans fælde. Had been caught in his trap. Under smil bare. I troede alle, komma, at vi var væk, spurgte Sunearden med sit onde smil, som hvis et byttedyr var blevet fanget i hans fælde. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm going to mark this. This is where I've come to. I think we did all right. So where did we start? It was up here. So it's like, okay, it's like a page of translation that we did today in 2 hours. Usually, I can do. I usually spend an hour per page in translation. But I guess, you know, this is a totally new thing for me. Not live streaming, but it's been years since I live streamed before. And it's a good thing that when I started, I can feel that my thought processing power is dwindling right now. So I think this is a good place to stop. Next time I'm hoping to do something on Monday morning. So if anyone wants to join, please feel free to do so. if you want to see more of me going live or making videos, content around my own universe, me learning to write a book, learning to write. Please feel free to subscribe and like this stuff and ring the bell and all that jazz. And I would be very much appreciated. That would be very much appreciated. But yeah, for now, this was it for the very first live stream of Forgotten Songs Universe. This is me trying to translate my third short story, Fly, into the Danish one, Flew. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, the journey continues.